Does the volume of your meals influence your appetite? Hi, I'm Luke from Active Health Clinic, and welcome to part 4 of our video series about appetite. This is also a question I get a lot from my patients, and this is one that has a more straightforward answer, which they kind of enjoy, and I really enjoy giving to them because the answer is no. When we're trying to restore appetite, we're trying to get that enjoyment back into food, that expectation back into our meal times or for our meal times, really having the expectation that we need to have a certain amount of food to cause this to happen can actually be an off-putting thought and can have the complete opposite effect of what we want when we're trying to restore appetite. Have you ever sat down to a plate of food, either during this time, actually it's probably more relevant for you in this time where your appetite hasn't been at its best, or even beforehand, and you've just looked at the plate and gone, my goodness me, that is a lot of food. I'm never going to be able to eat all of that. Personally, I've never had this experience because I'm a greedy guts, but a lot of people, and I've heard this from countless people, and first heard it from my grandparents, which is where you might have likely heard it first from as well. Look at a plate of food, and if it's too much, they just give up. So while we're in this process of really trying to stimulate your appetite again and get your enjoyment and get you excited for food again, we really want to be cautious and kind to yourself about how much food you actually put in front of you at your meal times. Now, if you've been following along for the ride, we've had 3 videos in this series where we've talked about why you might have lost your appetite, what to do when we begin to want to stimulate our appetite again, and we've also had a video about whether the timing of the meals that we have matters when we're trying to induce our appetite again. And this really comes full circle because if you've been following along, you know that you have to have a really set, or it's preferable to have a really set schedule throughout the day of when you eat your meals. But the advice I give to my patients is that I don't actually care how much food goes into your mouth at those set times. You could have anything from a full meal to a couple of Pringles, maybe a couple of squares of dark chocolate or a couple of nuts. You might have half a piece of fruit if that's something you can tolerate, or you might have half a cup of almond milk. Or it might even be, I don't know, you might be able to stomach half a piece of mum's lasagna, but you can't have, 4 or 5 pieces of chocolate or 4 or 5 potato chips, because that's something you really enjoy and value to have in your life. And the important thing to remember about this is there's many different considerations that will go into the actual volume that you consume in each and every meal. But what I like to say to my patients is that generally at those core meal times of maybe your first meal, your lunch meal, and then your dinner meal, they're going to tend to be bigger just because that's the way we're programmed in this society to eat. And that's okay. But if it's not like that, and that doesn't work for you based on how you feel or how you feel your appetite is responding, then that's okay too. The most important thing to remember from this video is that at each of these times that you're going to eat, at each of these eating occasions, you just need to put something in your mouth. This stimulates that appetite reflex, gets those hormones going that produce that feeling of being hungry and wanting food. And we need to get our body in the routine of experiencing that feeling at given times so the body knows what to expect. If you found this video helpful, I'd love you to like our page, subscribe to our channel, and tag someone below who you feel might also benefit from this type of content. Further, if you feel like you need more help or more advice to implement these strategies into your day, please put up your hand and someone from the clinic will be more than happy to get in touch and help you along this journey. At Active Health Clinic, we're looking to impact 1 million people by 2022 about invisible illnesses, and by you doing those things I just mentioned, you help us to get to that goal faster. Thanks for watching and happy eating.